Soccer Aid returns this summer at the Theatre of Dreams, Old Trafford, and talkSPORT will bring you all the action.
As the countdown begins for kick-off in Soccer Aid, Jermaine Defoe, lovely feet from him to bring it forward for England, and he slips it through to Stephen Bartlett from Dragon's Den, left-footed, and he sticks it in the back of the net.
It's something that I enjoy. This is why I try to come back every year, because it's good to play against all the Premier League ballers that you watched throughout the years, you know what I mean?
Lifting it over the top, here's Theo Walcott, who lifts the ball over Tony Bellew and into the back of the net. Stamford Bridge erupts.
Yeah, top names from the world of football, sport, showbiz, all doing it again to raise lots of money for.
It's always fun.
Soccer
I
Aid.
like the second half when the celebrity goalkeepers go in. I think that makes it really interesting.
Well, that could be music of the ears of our next guest, the former Spurs, Leeds and England winger, Aaron Lennon. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, lads. How are we?
Yeah,
good,
we're not
thanks.
too bad. Now, you're at a Soccer Aid launch. You're standing there in a kit, and we said you had an exclusive announcement, so I think people may have put two and two together. So tell us.
Yeah, I'll be making my debut June the 15th for Soccer Aid. Really looking forward to it and get the boots back on.
Yeah. You've looked after you. We've seen you in the studio fairly recently. You've looked after yourself. You've been keeping fit, so you feel you're up for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've stayed in the gym since I retired. I've played a couple of games, one quite recently for Spurs, so I started really training for that game. And then once got announced, I started to tick over again. So hopefully I'll be sharp come June the 15th.
That was the game against Milan, wasn't it? And I would imagine that everybody thinks probably going into Soccer Aid, that would be a bit of fun, just a bit of a giggle. But I suppose the old competitive side, nature comes out, doesn't it, when you're in a kit and you're on a pitch again?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was saying this earlier, is that as soon as you put the boots back on, you put the kit back in, something just changes inside of you. Things just start getting serious, and whether it's training, wherever it is, and then once match day comes around, it's literally preparing like it was a Premier League game. So no, I'm really excited to it. I can't wait to get the boots back on.
And the standard of the celebrities is usually pretty good. You know, and obviously sometimes they're younger than the pro, so it sort of kind of equals itself out a little bit.
I just missed that there.
I was just saying some of the celebrities are surprisingly good, you know, better than you'd imagine them to be, and, you know, can cause quite a few problems.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, some of the celebrities can really play and they really look after themselves. I think some of the players, once they've done this for 20 years or so, being a professional, they start to down tool, and you can see a few of the lads are putting a bit of timber. So, yeah, it evens it up sometimes. So, yeah, it'll be a great game.
I'm looking at some of the other players, some of the other pros who are in the frame. Jermaine Defoe is going to be playing, someone very familiar to you.
He's still good. We saw him in the talkSPORT 5 side. He was brilliant.
Joe Hart, Gary Neville, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes. So a few boys you've come up against over the years.
Yeah, no, like I said, some top players. Like I said, I played with Jermaine. He still looks after himself. Like I said, but I haven't played with Wazza for a while. Gary Neville, like I said, I made a couple of my first England games were with Gary Neville, playing behind me. So looking forward to meeting up with Gaz. Like I said, he was always a great lad, and I'm sure he'll be competitive as well, because once he puts his boots on, I know he'll be fully active.
So, yeah, it should be a cracker again. June the 15th at Old Trafford, Soccer Aid for UNICEF, and, you'll see Aaron in action. So let's have a look at... we'll talk a bit of Spurs and Leeds, Aaron, two of your old clubs. Big game for Spurs tomorrow night against Bergvall at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's been an awful season, but it's hard to believe they could come out of it with a pretty amazing prize in a Champions League place and a European trophy, potentially.
Good for the new manager.
No, 100%. It's been a tough season. It's been difficult to watch at times. Like I said, I know they've had a lot of injuries, but like I said, for Spurs, it's not been good enough. But like I said, to come out of it, there's still a massive opportunity here. They would never get a better opportunity to get to a final of big competition. So all riding on tomorrow. It's a huge game, especially at home. The first leg, they need to go there with a couple of goals lead, I reckon, because it's never an easy game away in Europe. So it's all riding on tomorrow. It's a massive, massive game.
There's been I was going to say, there's been two schools of thought about the build-up to this, and I know our old friend Danny Kelly felt none of the players who were playing tomorrow should have been on the pitch at the weekend at Anfield, but I'm not so sure. I think that to build a bit of momentum, to get some performances, just to get a bit of sharpness as a unit and individually would have helped. Look, there's always a chance you can pick up injuries, but that can happen 5 minutes into the glint game.
Or in training.
Or in training. So I just felt they could be undercooked, Aaron, tomorrow night. I mean, in such a massive game.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's so hard to just turn it on and off. Me personally, I would have liked to have played in the game of the weekend, even if I was playing on the Thursday. Like I said, I knew he was going to rotate. Would I have rotated as many? I don't think I would have done. But it's this stage of the season, there will be players carrying knocks. There will be players that they're worried about. And like I said, me personally, I wouldn't have rotated as many. But like I said, everything is focused for this game, and they didn't want to take any risk, as you could see with the selection at the weekend.
Second leg for Spurs is the same problem Chelsea have got tomorrow night, playing on an artificial pitch.
Yeah.
I don't understand why UEFA allow this to happen, because it's such an advantage to the home team. And it's also, I think, quite dangerous. I don't know what you felt about playing on artificial pitches. But
I mean, I don't know if it's better than the Tamworth pitch, but the word was that quite a lot of the players were struggling for a few days afterwards, because it's just impact, isn't it, constantly on those pitches.
Yeah, it's so different, and it makes it such an advantage for the home team. Like I said, the ball moves different, the way you turn, everything about it. And like I said, I'm recovering after them games. Honestly, like I said, I have a kick around every Tuesday now, and honestly, my back is in pieces after playing on AstroTurf every Tuesday. So I don't think it should be allowed.
I don't either.
Ange Postecoglou has said, predominantly, there have been other things, but predominantly it's been the injuries this season that has done for Tottenham and why they've had such a bad Premier League season. I mean, do you agree with that, or has it been more than the injuries from what you've seen in your old club?
Look, the injuries definitely played a massive part. Look, to lose that many key senior players all at once is difficult. But there's definitely more to it, because, like I said, it should still not been good enough. The performances have not been good enough throughout the season. Like I said, we do know the injuries play a huge part, but the consistency has not been good enough all year round. Regardless of the injuries, if you look at the squads, you look at the players they've had on the pitch, they should still be performing better. Like I said, but tomorrow's a massive one. Like you said, if you could go on to win this competition, get Champions League football next season, it would still end up being, it won't be an unbelievable season, but it would still be massive for the football club.
Just final one on Spurs, Luke, because Bergvall signed a new long-term contract. He's been really the only good news story for Spurs fans this year.
I've been impressed with him. He's a good player.
I mean, he is an excellent player. You really feel he's going to train on. In a few years, he's going to be one of the big names of the Premier League. I mean, look, we know signing long-term deals doesn't necessarily mean the player's going to be there till 2030 or 2031, but it's good to see a young player committing himself to the club.
No, 100%. Like I said, he has been one of the shining lights, along with like Archie Gray. I thought Jed Spencer's been brilliant too. It's interesting because without the injuries, I'm not sure how much football these guys would have played.
Yeah.
So he's been given this opportunity and he's took it with both hands. And especially in recent weeks, I think he's been fantastic. He's got better and better as the season's gone on. And he's vital for me. I think he's so important to this team, and it's brilliant for the club to tie him down to a long-term contract, because he's the future of the football club.
So happier news for your old club, Leeds, going into the final game at Plymouth, looking to get the 100 points and win the title. Obviously, their goal difference is so much better than Burnley, so it's in their hands, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. Like I said, it's a massive game. They still want to win it. I know, like, it's massive for Leeds to be back in the Premier League. It's where they belong. Absolutely buzzing. All my friends and family are over the moon. But you still want that icing on the cake. And like I said, Plymouth will be a tough game. But like I said, Leeds, the form that they're in, they'll fancy their chances, and I fancy them to go on to win that game and get that 100 points.
Yeah.
What do you make of this pressure that Farke has come under from some quarters, saying perhaps it'd be a good idea to replace him before they get to the Premier League? Seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think I was listening to this debate. I think good old mate Gabby started this debate the other day, and yeah, I think it's super harsh. I know Danny Farke's been up with Forest with Norwich in previous seasons, but look, he's come on. He's a top manager, and he deserves this opportunity. I think he's been fantastic. And with the club, with Leeds United coming up, I'm sure he'll get back in and be able to bring in some more players, because if they are going to stay up and challenge and do well in this league, they're going to have to make some really, really good signings. Because as we've seen over the last couple of seasons, the teams that have come up have gone straight back down, and there's a massive gap now. So I think he deserves a chance. I think it'd be really harsh to sack him, and I'd really like to see him being given this opportunity with some backing also.
And finally, life all good for you, Aaron, at the moment? Away from sort of football and your Tuesday night kickabouts and stuff, everything good in your personal life and stuff?
Yeah, no, life's great. Life's really good. Like I said, I've got 2 young kids keeping me busy. Have a kick around with a few of the lads up in Manchester now, a lot of ex-pros joining, so that's great fun. And yeah, a little bit of media stuff. Got my mental health platform, which is launching anytime now. So no, really good, really happy, enjoying life.
Lovely, good to hear it. And enjoy Soccer Aid, Aaron. All the best. Good to talk to you.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.